Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Abstin and I'm Monty's Tarot Child. Today I have a beautiful card for you, one where we are looking at a message from your ancestors about how much they love you. I think this is going to be a really good reading. I'm very excited to share it with you all. So I would love it if you could just take a moment to pause and meditate on which one of these 4 cards is most drawn and connected to the energy between you and your ancestors. Take a minute, pause, meditate with your eyes closed or open, however you choose to do so, and we can get right into your reading. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You chose this beautiful card. Okay, and the affirmation on the back says, "Look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean." Okay, and this is a direct message from your ancestor on how much they love you. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. Okay, and so this is typically, the deck that I use is typically a love and romance oracle deck, but the heart-shaped and the very direct messages that I wanted to get from your ancestors, I thought that this would work perfectly. And I feel like this has been the most direct card that I have pulled out of the 4 piles, just to let you know that your ancestors wanted to send this message to you directly. They wanted it to be known that deep within you have this sense of love or safety, and it may not replicate what the relationships in your life look like around you right now in life, but you do feel a sense of being taken care of, looked after, being loved, and it is from your ancestors. I want to emphasize that how much they love you is unmeasurable. It's as deep as the ocean. It's as large, all-encompassing as the ocean. And if you know anything about those specific types of bodies of water, you know there are certain bottoms that we as humans will never reach. We will never be able to truly see the floor of the ocean, like the bottomest of the bottom. Because of course there are also different layers to the ocean as well. That gets into a whole like geographic type of conversation. But for the message that your ancestors want you to know is, it is unfathomable in the ways in which they love you and how much they love you and how much they care about you. So of course that's what we're here to describe, but we also want you to know, like, these are just mere words that I'm relaying to you. And beyond the words goes the depth of a feeling that, of course, breaks boundaries and barriers to the living versus the dead, because I'm specifically channeling the ancestors who are no longer present in this life form and in their human body, not within the flesh, but within the spirit. And their spirit loves you so deeply that it is immeasurable. Okay, so I want to look and see through the oracle what other energies exist for you, pile number 1, that your ancestors want you to know. There's something that is hurting you, with Chiron popping out very directly. You may have recently lost someone, with the Chiron energy here, hurt and heal. So you may be witnessing what it is like to have an ancestor, not for the first time, because there have been generations before us, of course, but someone recently may have passed over into the spiritual essence. And for that, if that is the case for any of you who are watching this pile, I deeply want to give you my condolences, because no matter how strongly we feel someone's spirit, there is nothing quite like that flesh, that human form that we first fall in love with, and then we realize that that human form is not forever. It does not last forever. That is the human way. That is nature's way. It's to have something that is alive that goes through these certain cycles. And I see you in a place of learning to heal with your hurt, learning to not be afraid, to mourn first, but also to love secondly, not being afraid to lose something, and so you feel as if you cannot get close to it, because the things that you love will inevitably transform and change. And sometimes we may struggle with having this habit of distancing ourselves so that we don't have to experience something like loss, which is difficult. But there is the saying, if you love something, I can't remember how the saying actually goes, but it's something about loss and love. At the bottom of the deck, you have Sagittarius energy with optimism, exploration, and freedom. And so when we are looking at this Sagittarius energy supporting your reading, I do want you to know that your spirit guides, specifically your ancestor. There's a specific ancestor here for most of you, but you may also have a number of ancestors that are contributing to this message. They want you to know to be optimistic about love and connection to other people. They don't want you to feel as if like, wow, this was the most genuine, this was the most compassionate love that I will ever receive in my life, and it is no longer here. They don't want you to hold on to that type of belief. They want you to be optimistic about being connected to other people and knowing that there is a possibility to find that spark of love again. And this does not have to be romantic. It could be any type of love that you feel like you just cannot be replicated. So, for example, and this is only for example, some of you could have lost a paternal figure or a father figure in some way, with the Sagittarian energy being on the more masculine side. And you just feel like there is just no one who can replicate or replace that. And you're absolutely correct. We don't nurture relationships in our life to replace other relationships. We connect to people to have an array of experiences, and that only can happen through exploration, through holding your grief, holding your sadness, and also not allowing it to hold you into place, into stagnation of not fully exploring the human experience as you are meant to. Your ancestors want you to explore, experience, delve into what freedoms you have in connectivity to other people, because some people truly do feel isolated. Some people truly do have issues being able to connect with people, intimacy issues, trust. And so I don't see that for you. I see your lack of trust stemming from the longevity of life and wanting certain things to last a long time and being surprised and hurt that they don't, or that they're unable to for whatever reason. So your ancestors are asking you to look deep within your heart in order to confront and heal what keeps you from trusting in your ability to connect with other people and to have deep connections in your life. Okay, so let's see what else is here for you. I do want you to know that you have deep love and adoration from your ancestor. They really love you. They really care about you. They really want you to share your heart with other people. And when I said heart, it almost sounded like I said hurt. So healing with others as well, like not having to deal with grief alone, not having to feel like you are alone in this, because so many people are grieving right now, and their grief will not look identical to yours. The relationship will not look identical to what you have lost. And of course, you want to be aware that this isn't also an encouraging message to trauma bond with others, but to really get into the depth of healing with others. So let's see what else. We have a lot that are flipping over, but I want the card to come out directly for pile number 1, please, Spirit. Allow their ancestors to deepen this message. Pile number 1. Thank you. Oh, you have Venus, and it kind of came out in reverse, but I'm not going to take it in reverse. I'm going to keep it upright. Venus is the planetary symbol of love. It represents all things beauty and romance, sensuality. Venus is connected to the pleasures in life, like wealth and value. It represents attraction, what we are attracted to. People, places, and things, the type of things that we are attracted to, and what is attracted to us, how we attract things. Venus is a very, it's a feel-good planet. It likes to feel good. It likes to be around things that make it feel good. Venus does not like to be uncomfortable. It doesn't like to work too hard for the love that it seeks and wants and desires. So that's when in astrology you see certain Venus signs, like Venus in Scorpio, for example. That's really the only example I have right now of how Venus it works extremely hard. And those types of signs, because it has a relationship to relations that makes it difficult. So Venus in Scorpio is kind of like a planet that doubts love. It kind of possibly doubts the genuineness of love. But Venus and Chiron in connection in your reading means that you do have a wound around love. Something has broken your heart. It has dulled certain pleasures in your life. Grief has. And you are trying to bring it back. You may be witnessing this reading, or you may have felt drawn to this reading because you have, or you may feel like you have run out of options on how to heal your heart. And we will get into some more direct messages that your ancestor has for you in regards to that. But this is us clarifying the picture of your heart is hurting. Beauty is hard to access right now, especially when the world is so chaotic. And then your personal life too is also not just dull, because it's like you see beautiful things, but they don't touch your heart quite the same. It's like when you think of certain experiences that you have while grieving, and you're like, wow, I wish this person were here to experience this with me. I wish that we could celebrate one more birthday or one more holiday, if that's something that comes up for you during this. And your ancestor wants you to know that they are not without beauty in their own atmosphere spiritually. They want you to know that they are not missing anything. They are not missing out on your life experiences. They're not unaware of your life growth. They see you trying to grow, not past this, but through it, through your grief. And to realize, like, to love is to know pain. I think that was part of the quote that I was trying to say. They see you struggling through this, struggling with saying, I choose love anyway. I know it's going to hurt. I know I'm going to be called to heal again and again and again. The more that you have, the more beauty you have in your life, the more there is a potential to mourn. And another, saying that is coming to me is, to truly love something, you must mourn it. You must honor it through mourning, because there is a change that is irreversible, that, again, we all go through, and you have to honor that spirit for going through that change, for witnessing. And even, I think, the spiritual practice of building an altar is honoring a spirit, is honoring an ancestor and their life. And that includes the hardship that they had while living and the beautiful things that they had while living as well. So you may be in this place of, like, mourning and wanting to build an altar, to buy fresh roses or flowers, buy things that they enjoy to put on their altar. Maybe if it is a paternal figure, getting their favorite cologne and placing it on the altar, or something of that nature, because Venus is sense. It's like smells, taste, soft things like velvet or rose petals, beautiful things that you could place on an altar to remind you, like, oh yeah, my ancestors loved these things. They were alive and vibrant, and they experienced the world fully. And even if they were not able to, they would actually want me to experience the world fully. They would want me to enjoy life and life's pleasures and life's beauty. So I feel like you are finding your grasp, and it's not easy for you right now. And I want to honor that by saying they know that it's hard for you right now. And I see that it is hard for you right now. And emotions will continue to flow. They will ebb and flow. But you are healing through this. And they want you to know that they see you. You have Aquarius at the bottom of the deck with the radical energy. So you have Aquarius and Sagittarius energy supporting you right now. And the Aquarius energy is all about being experimental, unique, electric, being group oriented as well. So this is another echo from your ancestors saying, do not self-isolate, free yourself, radicalize this time right now of grieving, do it differently than you would have expected to do it. I see the word disruptive here, and it is also telling me, like, your ancestors are saying, disrupt the norm, or disrupt the normalcy of grieving. So while in many different cultures, life and death are honored and celebrated in similar ways through freedom of expression, a lot of other cultures actually suppress the emotionality of grieving, where you are meant to sit in silence, where you are meant to mourn in a specific way, in a way that may not feel unique or special to the person that is meant to be honored. And so your ancestors may be calling you to radicalize what you think mourning may look like right now. And maybe you don't do that with the type of people who knew the person that you were mourning. Maybe you do it separately with those who you know will hold you and who will allow you to be expressive and, again, be radical. Maybe you got to pour one out and your family doesn't believe in pouring one out. Maybe your family doesn't even drink alcohol. Maybe you don't drink alcohol. Maybe your ancestor did, though. And so, of course, these are just little examples of how you may be radicalizing your mourning process right now, and how your ancestors are encouraging you to do so. They want you to be liberal. They want you to be detached from expectation right now on how you are meant to express your emotions. Love. What is that saying? Love will make you do crazy things. And I believe, again, a part of mourning is the realization that I have loved someone and I have lost someone. So loss makes you do some crazy things as well. It makes you look at life differently. It makes you say, wow, I was so focused on this and this and this and making my life beautiful in this way and achieving and goal orienting and, making the most out of my life. And really, I just want to have a good life. And how this message is connected is because your ancestors love you so much that I think they also want you to save some time in life. Like, of course, they can't tell you one way of living is better than the next, but they don't want you to spend your life worrying. They don't want you to spend your life being detached in a way that keeps you from enjoying the most beautiful thing about life, which is being alive. And we know that we are alive when we are in connection to others. The others that make us feel good, that validate our wholeness, that validate our seenness, that validates our uniqueness. They want you to be able to experience that in this life. So they're giving you this message of don't isolate, move through your love. Move through your love, but move through your grieving. Go to groups, any kind of clubs or groups that are specifically oriented to grief and loss, that feel right to you as well. Of course, you could create your own group of people that will hold you in this. But with the Aquarius energy, it will be unique to you and different for you. So I'm going to pull one of these cards as a message that your ancestor wants you to know right now in regards to love and how much they love you. Pile number 1, please, Spirit. Pile number 1. Pile number 1. Thank you. All right. At the bottom of the deck, you have wild orange. The key word says good fortune. Trigger statement, there is not enough. True statement, I attract abundance. Feel the joy you would have once you have reached your goals here and now. You will achieve your dreams fastest that way. So your ancestor wants you to know, luck is on your side. You have good fortune. You are someone who is charming. You have certain features that are joyous to be around. Like, people like to be around you. They love to be around you. And right now you have possibly, maybe you've been around, but you haven't really been in it. You haven't really been in connection with people in a deep way that reveals that you have been dealing with something quite heavy. And you're saying, the trigger statement, there is not enough. You may not feel like there is love represented in the world. Like, that people care about you more than likely because you have Venus here. But is it enough love to really hold you in like moments of despair and deep feelings that aren't just represented all around? Because even if people are grieving, there's a certain level of intimacy that people don't share when they are. And so you may be questioning, like, there's not enough people in the world to even handle what I'm going through, or like know how to deal with my level of feeling. And your spirit guides, your ancestors specifically want you to know that you do have the ability to attract these types of relationships. Again, with the exploration, it takes you stepping out of a certain mindset in order to begin to attract it and to find it. Especially when you are grieving and, with a misaligned mindset, you may attract the type of people who don't make space for your grieving because theirs takes precedence. Okay. And again, we're all grieving over different things. So it's not to say that one is more important, but again, you need those relationships around you that make space for you. The card that flew out is Myrrh, with the keyword being support. Yes. Trigger statement, I am not supported. True statement, I move forward with divine grace. Yes. Take comfort and know that you are supported. Nurture your inner child and connect with the earth. Yes. And so some of you, it may not have been recently that you have lost someone. It could have been from childhood, that you have been just in general dealing with grief. This doesn't have to be a present day thing, but it is still affecting you presently. And it's deep. It is a wound. There is an aspect with Chiron here that says you were born with the understanding of grief, of loss. We all have a Chiron placement from like within our birth chart in astrology. Chiron is an asteroid that reflects the story and the mythology of the wounded healer, and knowing that there's something that will never truly feel good again. You know how certain wounds, they scar over. Some wounds, they don't scar over, but there is this ability to reach a place where the wound no longer gets reinfected or inflamed in any way, of just like not being able to properly grieve and hold space for yourself and honor what you have lost. Okay. So I see you finding deep support throughout your life with this, in different ways. In different ways, you will be able to nurture yourself, to nurture past loss, and anything that happens present day as well. And this is not a message to put you on guard, to be uneasy, or to look for a loss. This is to remind you, like, we are in a human experience right now, and the most difficult things that you go through, you will be supported. Your ancestor wants you to know that you are supported, and they want you to move forward trusting in that support. They said, take comfort. Look deep within your heart and take comfort, knowing that you will feel their love and that you will be supported when you need that physicality as well. That physical presence to remind you that you are alive, to shake you from your stasis of grief. Mm. You had birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming of a new world into being. But I'm going to keep shuffling because I want it to come out clearly for pile number 1, please, Spirit. Pile number 1. Okay. So this one flipped over, but we're going to take it. All right. So it says Starseed. What lights you up? Your ancestors want to know, like, if you could name one thing, what lights you up? And how can you say yes to it? Say yes to more of it. They want you to harness the light within yourself. Again, especially when things seem dark and gray. They are letting you know that you have the ability to find what lights you up, that gives you that pleasure, that gives you that life experience that thrills you and reminds you that you are alive. I mean, it doesn't have to be big, glamorous experiences either. I think of the freedom and the freedom that you feel of riding a bike on an empty road that feels safe, and you're able to be present in that moment. This is what I'm visualizing. So you're able to be present in that moment of riding the bike. You feel the breath of the world on you. You see the vibrancy of the world being alive around you. And it reminds you that you are alive. It is a wholesome experience that reminds you that you are alive. So maybe bike riding is something that you want, to do again. Right now, in the hemisphere that I'm in, it is cold. So I don't know if that's necessarily the first thing that comes to mind for you, pile number 1, but wholesome experiences in general that remind you that you are alive, that connect you to your senses, that ground you into your body, and that reminds you, like, I am going to make the most of this moment, of this experience, because not only is it meant for me, but my ancestors have brought it to me. I have been brought here to experience life in this very second, and I'm going to do it without a second thought, without holding back, without telling myself it doesn't matter because it's frivolous or unimportant, or I don't have time to do this. Your ancestors, in some way or another form, they want you to make time for it. They themselves wish that they had the opportunity to make time for more things, to enjoy life's pleasures, to mourn certain things that left their life as well, and they were unable to. And so they want this for you. They love you so much that they want this for you. And they are bringing you this message to say, look, if I can do anything for you, if I can give you any message, this is the message that I want to give you. Live your life. Love the life that you live. Do not resent life because we die. Do not resent things because they die or change. Live every moment that you can, and let the hurt reach you. Don't brush it off. Don't push it away. Don't silence your grief. Be open about grieving, just as you are open about love. Or hopefully you are. I hope that you are loud about the things that you love. Your partners, your relationships in general, your self, your body, your talents, your life. They want you to be loud about what it is that you love and what it is that pains you. And they want you to find what lights you up. At the bottom of the deck, you have awakening with energetic upgrades, a new way of being, and integration. I love the word integration because it takes one thing that may be opposite or just othered, and it infuses it with something else. Integration is I have this grief, and this grief is heavy. It is weighed down, and it weighs me down. And now I'm going to inject it with love. I'm going to inject my grief with something that gives it a little buoyancy, that keeps me from drowning in it. I'm going to feed as much of it, as much of that love as I can. Or I'm going to feed as much of that grief with love as I can. And I'm going to save myself. I'm going to awaken. I'm going to transform into a new way of being. I think that your relationship with grief is transforming right now through certain experiences. And it is absolutely transforming you into a new way of being. You are awakening very strongly. You are awakening. And your ancestors want you to know that it was a difficult awakening. It was a difficult transformation. They want to honor that for you so that you know that they don't take what has happened lightly. But this was for you to transform into a new way of being. And I'm sure, again, you have faced loss in many different instances, but this one was different. This one was different. Okay, so we're going to look into the tarot and see what final messages your ancestor wants you to have and how deeply they love you. And they do. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. They want to help, in a way, cleanse you of certain things. Again, that weight of grief. They want to help relieve you by offering you a new way of being, offering you a new perspective on love and loss. That is how much they love you. They are not done working on your behalf for you, for the betterment of your life. That is how much they love you. And they need you to look deep within your heart so that you may see it and know it. Okay, please, Spirit, pile number 1. What does the tarot have for them in regards to their message? Pile number 1. Pile number 1, please, Spirit. All right. Your ancestors are not playing. They're telling you, like, your heart is heavy. And without the proper nourishment or rest or respite, they see you growing heavier and heavier. And they love you too much to let you go through that willingly and alone. You have the 3 of Swords here. Okay. And the card is how it's depicted. It's very interesting because in some shape or another, I feel like I felt this energy. I may have been picking up on energy before the actual reading came about. But the 3 of Swords here is saying they love you so much. They love you so much, and they see you hurting. Even when beautiful things are happening around you in your life, they see your pain. They know you would love to celebrate. The 4 of Wands is all about celebration, but there are certain memories that pop up for you that bring you sadness, like a bittersweet sadness of memories shared and certain things that can no longer be shared. The 4 of Wands tells me that you have some kind of celebration of stability in your life Like maybe you just had a new achievement in regards to your home, feeling just that much more comfortable. Maybe you've been able to style your home and bring a little bit of comfort and beauty into your most intimate spaces. And now I see you crying. I see you crying, and I see you, saying that it's not enough. Because what good does this beauty do if my heart hurts so badly, and I can't escape the past, and I can't escape these memories, and nothing in my present moment is doing it. I go to sleep and I see you. I think about you constantly, and it brings a very sharp pain to my heart. Your ancestor wants you to know that this is because you haven't really, maybe you haven't spoken this pain off of you. When's the last time that you said their name, or that you talked about them in conversation with someone who gave you that space to talk about them without shutting you down or making the situation worse? When's the last time you just called out to them? Maybe through tears and pain. But with the source energy here, there is something about expressing what hurts you. Removing these swords so that your heart can heal. But the memories keep surfacing. And I see as a message from your ancestor that there are memories, and there are you remembering things that make you more sad. What does that mean? Remembering certain things without having this feeling of guilt or wishing. Take what resonates, of course, pile number one, but I'm hearing there's no need for you to wish that it was you instead of them. There's no need for you to wish that they are still here, and that I hope that you don't take that in any negative form, because your ancestor, they were ready. It may not have looked like that to you or to the people around you or in connection to you, but there was something here about they had to go. It wasn't easy. Again, a very painful experience for you. And I'm meant to continue to honor that for you and to let you know, yes, your ancestor knows that you are in pain, and they want nothing more to be able to help you relieve that pain. Nothing more. That is, their heart aches for your pain, and they want to be able to give you something that comforts your soul, that lets you know that you are supported. So maybe you have a new type of relationship coming into your life. New in the sense of someone's here to show you genuine care, to help you talk through things, to help you observe certain things. Again, to help you ground yourself and be present. You have the Seven of Cups, and it came out in reverse. There's something here about you having too many options, too many choices, and needing to kind of shut your mind off a bit. Or in connection to the Six of Cups, you may be having too many memories coming up. There's something here about being overstimulated emotionally. looking for answers and not being able to decipher, is this helpful to me? Does this work for me? Am I actually healing, or am I digging myself deeper into my grief? There's something here about you not having clarity around if certain methods that you have taken to heal have been beneficial to you. And quite like what we were mentioning before about like being a part of any support groups or grief related activities or groups and not really feeling like you feel validated or truly heard, whether that's from family or friends or anything of that nature. You're feeling like, I just don't know if this, and this is working for me. And so you may be limiting your choices in a way that reminds you only need like genuine energy around you, because you're in a really sensitive time right now. You have the Fool in reverse. You had something, a new way of being is being delayed right now with the Fool in reverse. Again, because I feel like something has to come before you are ready to take a leap of faith. You have to fully and properly grieve. I believe that is really what your ancestor is saying. Before this new way of being emerges, the dam must burst. It must give way to the emotion. The logical must give way to the emotion. Of course, in a healthy sense, not in, again, an overstimulated or, out of control way. You need to find a container for yourself, for your grief. And when your grief is as deep as the ocean, just as your love for them is, it almost seems like there is no container to hold this grief. There is nothing that could do it. And your ancestor wants you to know that there is, but you have too many things in your face right now. Too many opinions, too many people that are around you that maybe even siphoning off your own energy here. It depends on who's listening to this message, but supporting you is the Six of Swords through the tarot, letting you know like you have the ability to leave certain things behind, certain things you may carry with you. And then maybe through transition, you realize like, okay, some of these things can be let go of. And we're talking about mental habits, mindsets, and thoughts, okay, with the Six of Swords here. So you're transitioning, you're in a moment of transition right now. Certain relationships can no longer persist. Certain connections can no longer persist. Certain thoughts and ways of being can no longer persist. And while you were hanging in the balance of this transition from when you first started grieving to where you are now and to wherever you may end up next, there is meant to be a deep sitting with your feelings, letting it out, letting yourself feel, even if you feel like, oh, I'm too gloomy, it's too much, I can't sit here like this. Well, your ancestor wants you to know the more you run from it, the more it will chase you. It will be on your heels through every relationship, through every circumstance. You will, again, self-isolate because you're afraid to lose love. You're afraid to lose something. And they don't want that life for you. They love you too much for you to live a life of isolation. So be vulnerable with yourself. And yes, the Six of Cups, highlighting that inner child. Nurture your inner child and connect with the earth. Do what you can to feel your aliveness. Write a letter to your inner child. Write a letter to your ancestor, telling them that you love them, telling them that you are grieving them, that you are grieving all of the opportunities that you lost to properly mourn something or someone. and that you're taking that space now and then free yourself from it. Because again, they don't want you to be stagnant or in a stasis environment of mistrust and fear. Okay, so I'm going to pull a few charms that represents the symbolism of things that you will see when your ancestor is telling you that they love you. Okay, when you see these symbols, know that it is a direct message from your ancestor, and that they are telling you that they love you as deep as the ocean, and that if they could hug you, you would feel like you were like swimming in a warm pool. Warm, not hot. Just water that feels inviting and comforting and soothing to your soul. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to try to do 3 symbols. I'm looking away currently. And let's just see what these symbols are for you. Pile number 1. You have a star, a beautiful golden star. You may have been their star. You may have, had this special symbolism with your ancestor. Otherwise, be mindful of the star symbol. That is their way of telling you that they love you as deep as the ocean. Okay. And another. We have playing cards, okay? So spades, jokers. I don't know if that's even a card game. But solitaire, even. Any kind of cards, card games, card symbolisms. It's your ancestors saying, try not to take life too serious. I love you. Be present. I'm here. Okay. And one more symbol for pile number 1. You have the elephant. So beautiful. Their love for you goes beyond any restrictions, beyond any limits. They think that you're wise. They think that you're beautiful. They themselves were very wise as well. You may have gotten a lot of wisdom from this person, and they are still sending you that wisdom. It is not just earthbound. What they have to give you can be felt as well, felt wisdom, wanting you to trust your instincts as well. Your ancestors love you. They are rooting for you. I am also rooting for you, pile number 1. If you enjoyed this reading, I would really appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Leave a comment down below if you felt deeply connected with this or felt like your ancestor was reaching you in any way. And I would love to see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. This is the card that you chose. There's an affirmation on the back, so we're just going to get right into it. Your affirmation says, look inside yourself. Examine what is causing you to feel this way. Okay. And so as I mentioned in pile number 1, I can't remember if I mentioned it at the beginning or not. This is typically people will use this affirmation deck as a romance deck. But I am looking into how much your ancestors love you, them wanting to let you know how much they love you. And so this is a message directly from them. And they are asking you to look inside of yourself. This may be a focal point or area that your ancestors did not have the privilege of being able to do for themselves, which is introspection. I believe that a part of our purpose and a part of our path is to be able to overcome, heal, and accept certain things that our ancestors were not able to do for themselves. And that is a part of why they are still here to guide us, and also just to be there as a loving energy, a loving familial type of energy, even if they aren't necessarily directly family. So your ancestors are wanting you to look inside of yourself. They're wanting you to examine certain feelings that you have, that you may not be so eagerly, to tap into. something is activating your emotions. It may feel out of your control. It may feel outside of your awareness in a way. And so that may be a large part of what we are here to examine with you in this reading today. So I'm going to look into the oracle. I'm going to see what it is that your ancestors would like for you to examine, to question, or to observe about yourself. For pile number 2, please, Spirit. It's quite a lot of cards that wanted to come out, but we're going to just shuffle just for one. For pile number 2, please, Spirit. Just one card for pile number 2. Pile number 2. Okay, you have Mars energy here as the first oracle card out. And at the bottom of the deck, you have mutable. In astrology, mutable zodiac signs are the signs that are transitioned between one season between the next. So that's Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. You could have any of these zodiac signs as your Mars sign in your birth chart as well, for those of you who are into astrology. But the Mars energy is here encouraging you to move forward and defend self. We will touch on that in just a second. Mutable energy supporting you is helping you to surrender to fluidity and welcoming in change. The mutable energy is very adaptable. Okay, so your ancestors are hoping that there is something that you will be adaptable in, addressing within yourself, and not being so overly critical of yourself as well, surrendering to what comes up rather than just simply with the Mars energy fighting what is trying to be expressed from within you. The Mars energy here is actually very interesting. It insinuates an action. And so does this original card, an action of looking inside of yourself, moving forward. This energy is also a lot about you. And of course, that's the intention that we channeled with, but to defend self and to look inside of yourself. You may have come here hoping for a different message, but we are here to talk about you today. Pile number 2, you have Pluto as well. So let's get into it, because we have quite a few energies now to gain more clarity. Pluto and Mars, when we have these two energies, they are actually both very masculine energies, very assertive, dominating. Pluto is all about transformation. I like to look at Pluto symbolically as like a dissolvent in some ways, where anything that Pluto touches, it's meant to be transformed. It's meant to be dissolved, broken down, and restructured in a way. So with Pluto energy, we have renewal. We have basic instincts, motivation. You find your personal power. And of course, Pluto is a generational planet. So this is an energy that affects entire generations based on the sign that it is in. And so I feel like your ancestors are telling you that they love you so, so much. Pile number 2, let's just start off with that. And they know that there is something within you that is desiring, almost begging to be transformed at this time. And they are saying that you are the only person to take action on this. You are the only person who will be able to show up for yourself in this manner, and to initiate a transformation in your life that is necessary. You're the only one. You're the only one who has the power, the motivation, the persistence as well, to continue to do whatever it is that you can to move forward, to release, to let go of something. Okay, you are initiating a rebirth, and you hear it all the time where people talk about rebirth, but they leave less emphasis off of the dying off part. And I don't mean a literal death. I mean a spiritual death, an ego death, as it is as well for you, pile number 2, that is here. And that doesn't sound like the most comfortable, because Pluto isn't always the most comfortable. Transformation is not the most invigorating thing when we are in the process, but the after effects is where that invigoration comes from as well. So there's something that's literally asking to be cleared from within you, and you have to look inside first. You have to bring a name to it. You have to mourn it even before you can let it go, and before you can let it be transmuted within you. These energies, Pluto and Mars, they're not very emotional planets. They actually both, so traditionally, Mars rules over the zodiac Scorpio, and Pluto co-rules over Scorpio. Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. Pluto co-rules over Scorpio in astrology, which means that they have an influence, a scorpionic influence within your reading right now, letting you know that there's something deeply affecting you. It's ingrained. It's something that you carry with you in your actions and your day-to-day movements. The way that you do things is tinted with this feeling that you would rather not examine. And this is, your ancestors do not judge you. They do. I am not judging you. I'm simply the messenger here to give you this message and saying, if you want something to change, if you really want change in your life, more than likely it's not going to have anything to do with your external circumstances. And that's not to say that your external circumstances aren't worthy of change. That's saying that it has to start from somewhere, and you have an instinct. It's subtle. It's subtle. It's like knowing that there's, I'm going to use this very vague example, but knowing that there's dust gathered up in the corner of your room, and you walk past it every day, and you're like, it's fine exactly where it is. It's not hurting me. It's not bothering me. It's just dust. Meanwhile, knowing like, oh, there is something here meant for me to cleanse. It's meant for me to get this stagnant energy out so that new energy can be built upon in your life. So this is not a new message, I believe. If this message is resonating for you, then this is not a new message for you. Your ancestors are asking you to surrender to this process. They're asking you to not fight it. They're actually asking you to welcome in the change, like welcoming in a new guest into your home, or like welcoming themselves, like that, this energy of your ancestors into your home. And you may have been doing some more spiritual work in your life to get connected to your ancestors or get comfortable with communicating with your ancestors. And this is the message that they've been bringing you of like, it's time to let something go. It's time to cleanse. And maybe you are not initially thinking about what it is that they're trying to draw your attention to. But hopefully that this is what that message is for you, pile number 2, if nothing else, a confirmation. Okay, so you also had the 10th house at the bottom of the deck. Some of you may have Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces over your 10th house. That mutable energy is still here, very much so present. And this is in regards to career, responsibilities, your achievement. You can, in the 10th house in astrology, you can see people's passage to fame or notoriety, depending on who the person is and, you know, what you're looking at within the chart. The 10th house can also represent authority figures and the type of relationships you have with authority figures. It can represent your legacy, your purpose even. or any kind of empire that you build in your life over time. The 10th house is ruled traditionally by Capricorn. It's a methodical energy, slow growth, slow process, slow effort, slow growth, but there is this getting it done type of energy. And so this change that is needing to be observed may reflect or correlate within your career. You may have the type of career where your personal life, your selfhood, is connected to your career in some way, some shape or form. But either way, I feel like what you are doing personally in your life to influence change and transformation is reflecting over it within your career. Again, this is something, I think career is a very sensitive topic for a lot of people, because that is connected to people's livelihood. We earn and we live. And if we somehow feel like we're compromising our position, our authority, our security, then other things tend to go on the back burner, because we have to be stable. We have to be secure, especially in the society, the Western culture and society that I live in. We are always enticed to hustle, to achieve, to strive. And there is this energy somewhere about transforming that in a way, and doing something about that differently. It's very interesting, the energies that are combined here. Some of you may have your natal Pluto or Mars in the 10th house, which means that you have had many different career transformations. You've had many different careers that have exerted a certain energy out of you with that Mars. You've worked really hard for the stability and the recognition and the achievement in your life. And this could be a career change. Your ancestors could very well be saying, like, your career is draining your energy and it's time for a transformation. We will see with the more cards that come out. But that is something that is popping up as well. Is it like a direct message of career change? So let's see what other energy we can get about this reading for pile number 2, please, Spirit. Pile number 2. Examine what is causing you to feel this way. Something is absolutely needing to be transformed. Like, it cannot stay the way that it is because of your emotional, physical, spiritual well-being. Let's see. Pile number 2, please, Spirit. Pile number 2. We have patchouli. And we have centering at the bottom of the deck. I will read both. You have patchouli. I think I'm saying that right. The key word is earthly. Trigger statement, I hate my body. True statement, my body is my temple. Remember that you are a spiritual being having an earthly experience. Revere your loyal and sacred body. There is something here about your body telling you, like, I cannot go any further. I do not have the energy for this. Something needs to be transformed because my temple feels neglected. It feels off. It feels abandoned in a way, is what I'm hearing. And when I say that, it's because I'm envisioning a temple that used to be vibrant, lively. And when you have a temple, you have someone who takes care of that space because it is sacred to them. And with this energy of like transformation being necessary, it's like things need to be cleaned up. I keep getting that feeling. Things need to be cleaned up. And your body, your physical body, is actually a strong signifier as to what may be off in your life. Remember that you are a spiritual being having an earthly experience. It is not vice versa. You are not an earthly being, simply just an earthly being here to have a spirit and then die. Do whatever you can to uphold the physicality and then die. I think that's a message, a strong message from your ancestors, that they want you to live a fulfilling life, not just a hard-earned life. They want you to feel happiness, kind of like the basic, the basic, well, it says basic instincts, the basic necessities of a good life, which is health, of course, stability, but your ancestors don't want you to sacrifice your health and well-being for your stability. So they're asking you to revere your loyal and sacred body. And maybe there's something here about connecting what you do for yourself, for your health, for your wellness, to your career, but that's not the case for everyone. Please, of course, take what resonates. Centering at the bottom of the deck, the keyword is align. Trigger statement, I feel conflicted. True statement, I am true to my highest self. Your focus needs to turn within to reflect on stories that are not true for you. Love is the way through. There is so much inner reflection. Look inside of yourself. Turn within to reflect. This is something that you're not used to. The only reason it is coming up, pile number 2, is because it's something that you're not used to. And reflecting, being in touch with your body, that is upholding and honoring the fact that your body is a temple. Being present is honoring that temple within you. And so I believe, I'm recording this at the very end of November, and I just feel like going into this new year, or whenever you are watching it, you just have this outlook of like, something has to change. I cannot continue to wait for my environments to change. Something has to change. And maybe you are, again, approaching it in a very logical manner when you're being asked to approach it in a more mutable approach, because just simply the energy of Virgo, the earth sign Virgo in the zodiac, many people may not know or think about Virgo being mutable, being flexible, being open to change, being what's the word, not just adaptable, but like morphed, being able to morph that solid type of energy. And people like to think that, because Virgo is logical, but it is not only logic. It is like logic applied. If it works, then it works, and it's something that needs to stay. But if it doesn't work, and it's very telling that logic, that approach isn't working, a Virgo will adapt. Because that is its need. It needs for it to work. So it will adapt for that cause, for that situation. That is what it means to be mutable. And I think that, logically you're thinking, I will do whatever it takes to align to this change that I desire in my life. And I think your ancestors are asking you, like, please be open to what that looks like. They know that you feel conflicted. They know that it's difficult. You're trying to make it clear, like, I'm open. I want things to change. But there is something about still holding on too tightly. You have the Mentaken energy here. Longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. Okay. And so I feel this longing energy from you. Pile number 2. At the bottom of the deck, you have Keepers of the Earth. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. This is how much they love you. They love you so much. And yes, your ancestors are ancient. There is a lineage of energy that goes far beyond your memory, far beyond your interactions. And they're here to support you. They stand beside you. They want this for you. Just as badly as they wanted it for themselves, I'm sure. And so you're longing for something. This Mars energy is trying to point you in the direction. It's trying to guide you in the direction that feels the most like you're going to receive the most transformative energy. The belonging is very interesting, that word being here, because there may be an aspect of you wanting to feel comfortable, you wanting to feel at ease, feel like things are not difficult, or you're not always fighting or living in this kind of like aggressive energy. But something is causing you to feel this way. And you're longing for a change. You're longing for it to be easy again. Maybe some of you are even like nostalgic to different times or better times of the past. And your ancestors want you to know like it can get better. It can get better than what better was in the past. But you have to look and examine as to what that means for you. Yeah. We have 10 of Cups in reverse. 10 of Cups is a beautiful card. It signifies long-lasting, healthy, reciprocal emotional foundations and relationships in your life. With it being in reverse, it's lacking in your life. You don't feel like there are people or connections in your life that are meant to be with you long term. And maybe it's not something that you consciously think about. Maybe you're just like, this person's a good time. And, then you move on from that. Or it's kind of just like, there's like a number of different things coming with the 10 of Cups in reverse. You also have the 6 of Cups at the bottom of the deck in reverse. I want to mention it because there's this watery element here. And we did mention Scorpio, of dissatisfaction, of memories being sweeter than the present, of life not feeling fulfilling to you. And you may have sought this home feeling, this longing that you've been sensing in certain connections around you recently and been very disappointed as to what you have found. The lack that was represented in the emotional connections that exist in your life present day. You may have really just, if this message is resonating for you, then it's meant for you to hear this, but settling for certain connections because you thought, either this is love or this is what friendship should just look like. Like, I don't have an example of it, so I guess this is good. I guess this is right. I guess these people are cool. Depending on who and what the situation is for you, pile number 2. The 10 of Cups in reverse is saying that things could be better. Relationships could be more meaningful. They could be more long lasting. And there is this energy with Mars here of seeking it out, longing for home. The original light workers is telling me that you do have a group. You have a group of people, or maybe it's not like a big group. I'm not talking like 12. That is quite a large amount of people. But there are individuals out there for you to help you re-understand. Is that really what I wanted to say? They want to help you know the true meaning of love, the true meaning of family, because that doesn't always look like what we're born into. There is this aching within you that your ancestors are aware of, that they want to help you fulfill in this lifetime. They don't want you to leave this life feeling like it was all about work. It was all about achieving and striving, because you have it here at the bottom of the deck, meaning there is an emphasis on your reputation. But I also think that our reputation, it exists around the people that know us and the people that want to get to know us. Having a career, it rarely means anything if the people that you love or care for are not either cheering you on or even aware of what it is that you are passionate about or that you want to do in this life. There is just this, with the Ten of Cups in reverse, this surface levelness. And maybe you have like regarded certain relationships in the past more highly than what you have now. I feel like as you have grown into maturity, you have wanted more stable relationships in your past, like you have felt maybe growing up in school, or just being around certain people in the areas that you grew up in. And even those relationships, I feel like a lot of that is like conditional, because if you didn't grow up in the same place as that person, would y'all be friends? Like if you weren't connected because you went to school together, would you actually be friends with that person? Like, your ancestors want you to know the genuine meaning of connection, and not conditioned connection, not just because, oh, we grew up in the same neighborhood, or, oh, our parents knew each other, and so that's how we became friends, and we've been friends since whatever. Those can be meaningful. Those relationships can be meaningful. I'm not saying that they are not. I'm saying, if something feels off, if something feels like it's missing, trust yourself and allow certain things to transform in your life. I think the 10th house also talks about what is structured in our life, not just mostly it's our career, mostly it's our achievements, but I think the type of people that we have around us at the end of our life also speaks to the type of things that we have achieved. We have the Empress. This is the tarot card for looking into oneself. This is the tarot card that speaks of nourishment, that speaks of indulgence in the sense of like, I need to do better. I need to witness something. I need to be in a receptive state so that I understand why I feel the ways that I feel. The Empress is actually so good at nurturing relationships because they've nurtured themselves. We have the symbol of Venus here, which is all about what we value. Our love languages are the types of relationships that we seek in this lifetime. So this is a very aligned message for you. Pile number 2, it's getting even more clear that you need stable relationships in your life. You need people who value you and who understand your love language to know that you value them as well. The Empress is saying, be gentle with yourself as you look inside, as you peek within, as you do some of the work that you have put off, with no judgment, all compassion, and say, I need, yes, I dream of it. I wish. 9 of Cups. This is a beautiful confirmation saying like, yes, you're really feeling this message, and I'm glad that you are. Pile number 2. You are desiring, you are needing, wanting a new approach in life. You need those people that you can depend on and that you feel like you have genuine love. Like you have genuine love to give to people. The Empress is so nurturing. I mean, the Empress is almost even more nurturing than the moon, because sometimes I've been talking about astrology a lot, and the moon can represent certain fears that we have in connection to our emotions and in connection to other people. But Venus, the planet of love, luxury, being resourced, feeling stable, feeling connected, like pleasure, feeling and knowing what your pleasure is, that having that energy is so beautiful, having it in your reading. And the Nine of Cups is saying, I wish for this. Like, I wish for this natural way of being that you have to be exuded all the time, to be, received. There's something here about you not being received. And maybe that doesn't mean like other people are not receiving you well, but there is this energy of like, what I have to offer, what I have to give is going nowhere. It's not going to myself. It's probably going to your work for sure, because we have the 10th house pop up so prominently. But you have something to offer, something to give, and it has to be internal first. That is just such a big message from your ancestors. I feel like your ancestors are sending me this message to share with you, to say like they have spent a majority of their life focusing on the betterment of certain relationships that did not deserve their attention. People who took advantage of their love, people who weren't there to contribute or add to their love, but was there to seek and to take. They don't want you to have to deal with that. They don't want you to have to deal with fake relationships, false, people in your corner, and then you turn around and no one is there to help pick you up. But you're there for other people, supporting, cheering other people on. That is the type of person that you are. And the Empress has boundaries, needs boundaries, which is why they are here placed by themselves alone in this bountiful environment, because very few can reciprocate in the way that her needs desire. Like, and that's not to say that she's, standoffish. No, she's very warm when it is called for. She's very nurturing, loving when it is called for. So the Empress is saying, where can you stand in your boundaries? Where can you have better boundaries? Because there is something about someone having access to you, access to your innermost, softest being, your most emotional self. Possibly you really like thinking, oh, I can open up and trust this person. And it turns out, no, I cannot. I cannot tell them about what I'm building in my life because there may be resentment. I cannot tell them about what I imagine for myself in my life because they cannot imagine it for themselves. And so that makes you feel maybe a little bit alone as well. You have all these different feelings. Examine what is causing you to feel this way. And it is relational. It is you feeling alone in a sense of like, maybe you're even in a relationship, because the Ten of Cups, as you can see, these people are embracing one another. Maybe you are in an unfulfilling relationship right now. Pile number 2, take what resonates, of course. And your person, the person that you feel like someone should not be your everything, but they should contribute to who you are. Partnership is bouncing energy off of one another, feeding one another. And especially when one person is like dealing with something so deep or emotional and the other person is just there to support, there to help, there to be there to give that partner, what they may not have access to at the time. That is what partnership is about, is a give and a take. And so you are in a situation, whether romantic or platonic, and your ancestors are witnessing you not receiving what you deserve, love, It's your heart's desire. It's their heart's desire for you. They love you so much. And yet there is this aspect of like, they're not here to remind you of these things, to remind you of the importance of genuine love. Because I feel like they would be here. If they were here, they would say, you know, the wrong type of love can drain you. The wrong type of love can shorten your lifespan unexpectedly because of stress, because of, you know, aloneness. And so there is a transformation being needed in your relationships at this time. It, you know, your spirit guides, your ancestors directly are saying it cannot go on this way. Not if you want something different. Not if you're hoping and desiring for something more genuine and long lasting. You have the Knight of Cups. Okay. So yeah, this is a lot of emotionality for you right now. You have someone bringing something to you. So typically, I do not look at the Knight of Cups as the romancer that everyone else does. But in this context, with these cards and what we've been talking about, there is a message here, because this individual has wings on the back of their helmet, signifying a message coming to you of sincerity, of emotional depth, of genuine care. Someone is bringing you a piece of their own heart. And of course, do not, you know, pile number 2, it is never recommended to place yourself in a situation that has begun before something else has ended. That's why Pluto transformation is here. Let something end. Do not be afraid that if something is ending, that there is nothing to fill its space. Because right now, what is currently in existence in your relational realms is not stable. It's not long lasting. Your ancestors know it. You know it. And they want you to let it close off respectfully, whatever this may be. Again, romantic or platonic, but it is giving romantic. Let it close off like respectfully. Be open about your feelings, because the Empress is someone who does not hold their tongue. Like, if this shade of green is not matching the shade of green that I asked for, I'm going to politely and kindly say, this is not what I asked for. I actually asked for this. And so this is how I'm going to get what I asked for. That is that Mars energy of move forward and defending yourself, like saying, this is something that I've been asking for. This is something I've been needing. And this is how I have not seen it. This is where I see lack. This is where I see stagnation. There is no further growth here emotionally. And whatever is taking up that space, once it is cleared, that welcomes in this new energy that is trying to find its way to you right now. But right now, all you can feel is a longing. Maybe all you are feeling is like, I just hope that this situation resolves itself. It is not going to resolve itself. You are going to resolve it through open communication, honesty, and really putting your desires out there. You also have the Ace of Cups, honey. Yeah. This is new. This is new relations. This is new love of all different kinds. I'm seeing, what are these? I guess like raindrops coming from the sides of the cup, which means that there is this shedding. But your cup is going to be overflowing very soon, pile number 2. Very soon. You're going to feel at home. You're going to feel overjoyed. You're going to feel blessed by the relations that exist in your life. At the bottom of the deck, you have Ace of Wands, 2 new beginnings in love and in spirit. Within the Ace of Wands, I see this castle in the horizon. Yeah, it's a castle, not even a mansion. Meaning that you have a stable opportunity coming to you. I feel like with this Ace of Wands here, it's talking about you feeling more energized, feeling like certain things can get done in your life now because you are viewing things from a different perspective, a transformed perspective. And both of the aces are telling me that as, again, this thing clears out, this Ten of Cups in reverse, which is so heavy, it's so poignant. It's like on the outside, it looks good because the Ten of Cups is here. On the outside looking in, honey, it looks good. Whatever relationship this is, whatever connection it is, it looks good. But underneath that wrapping, it is not what you desire whatsoever. If it were, you wouldn't feel so without. You wouldn't feel so alone. You wouldn't be intrigued by other things either with the Knight of Cups here. I think you are intrigued by newness, with, of course, the Ace of Cups being here as well. You're open to something being new in your life, but your ancestors are directly saying it cannot happen. It cannot happen without you letting something go and clearing something out. And they love you so much. Like, of course, this is a message of love. They wanted you to know, like, we love you. We want better for you. We want your heart to feel the depths of its own beauty and harmony. We want you to have a beautiful life. We want you to have a beautiful family, friends who like your family, friends who like your significant other. Again, with that defend self, something here is off. You have to defend your love right now. You have to defend the fact that what you say doesn't exist. And you have to feel okay with that too. All of these feelings are built up inside, and your ancestors are saying, let this go. Let this transform. Let this be reborn in your life. Maybe a relationship is just not working as it is, the way that it is right now. I don't know. I feel like there takes like this intentionality to restructure a relationship and to not completely dissolve it. It takes intentionality to say, like, no, I know that this is my person, or I know that this is my group. There's just certain things that need to be tweaked rather than completely washing it away. I think, I think with Pluto here, the sign is to say, like, renewal, like it is being renewed in your life. So of course, take what resonates in that message. Pile number 2, but overall, I see your ancestors highlighting a very beautiful time for you right now. It doesn't feel it. Maybe something feels off. I understand. They know best. They are witnessing you right now struggle with finding your true happiness, and they are cheering you on. But I see new and beautiful relationships coming into your life after you sent out a prayer, you sent out your heart's desire, and this was a large and very aligned confirmation as to that manifesting in your life right now. Okay, so I am going to close off your reading by pulling a few charms, a few symbols that your ancestors may use to capture your attention, to let you know that they are there, to let you know that they are witnessing you and they see you progressing in this time. So I'm just going to pull a few charms. We're going to see how many we can get. For pile number 2, please, Spirit, what symbols, what charms are their ancestors sending them at this time? Please, Spirit. Quite a lot. Okay. We're going to go through all of these. Okay, so we have the cowboy hat. Okay, it's giving Renaissance. Those of you who know, you know. Okay. So you have the cowboy hat here. You have the life saver or the life ring here. So something is really coming in to help you. Your ancestors are really going to be here to help you, to save you, to capture you from the currents of emotionality that keep you swept into certain relationships or ways of being. You also have, you have a beautiful unicorn. I actually haven't seen this one in this charm bag. You have a beautiful unicorn. Your ancestors come to you to let you know that you are special, that you are unique. You have the deck of cards here, or the set of cards, playing cards as a charm. So that is another message for them reaching out to you. Oh, I love it. So you have the anchor and the lifesaver. Okay, they're wanting you to know that through these emotional, because very, very emotional, all cups and a major arcana. Through these emotional times, you will be anchored. You will be safe. They will not let you be swept away by the charm or the false beauty of another. They want you to know, like, when you see this anchor, stand firm. Stand firm in what it is that you desire and need. And you have the pink star. Isn't it so cute? So cute. And I saw the star card try to come out for you twice within the tarot, but hold on to your hope. Allow yourself to be guided. When you see these symbols, when you feel these feelings that this message has brought up, hold on to your faith, hold on to your hope, and know that you are going to be directed in the right path. You're going to meet the right people, and you will eventually build longevity and stability in your relationships around you for the rest of your life. Pile number 2, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for trusting me with your energy. Thank you to your ancestors as well for joining. If you enjoyed this reading, please give it a big thumbs up. It would greatly help out my channel. I would definitely appreciate it. If you would like to know how 2024 is going for your zodiac specifically, I will leave my link to my newsletter down below in the description box, where you can sign up and receive your 2024 zodiac messages. Okay. And in other news, I would love to see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose this beautiful affirmation card. So let's flip it over and get started with your reading. You have transformation. Your relationship with one another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transforms all things. Ooh. This is a beautiful one. And again, this is a message all about how much your ancestors love you. This is a direct message. Your relationship with your ancestors your relationship is about to deepen with them. Love conquers all things, including this human spirit boundary that we have of not being able to see or hug or hear someone's laugh. There's something here transforming. And maybe, I don't say this to say like, oh, you're going to start seeing your ancestors, or like they're going to start, sitting on the edge of your bed. I'm saying that you will feel their presence. You will feel their love. You will feel their humor in some way as well. For some of you, there is just this transformation happening between you and your ancestors, and they want to let you know about it. So let's look into the oracle. And let's see what message we have for you, pile number 3, please, Spirit. Pile number 3. Oh, okay. And just like that, you have the 6th house. In astrology, the 6th house is all about establishing a foundation, health, daily life, and practical details. The 6th house is actually a very logical house. It is typically ruled by the Virgo energy. Virgo represents the 6th house. So Virgo type of energy, type of happenings go on in regards to the sixth house. That doesn't mean that you are a Virgo or that your sixth house is ruled by Virgo necessarily, unless you are an Aries rising. But the sixth house represented in your reading is telling me that you are actively establishing a foundation through routine in order to deepen and transform this relationship that you have with your ancestors. I think it's beautiful. Wow. At the bottom of the deck, you have the moon with satisfy emotional needs, nurture self and others. So there's something here that I'm picking up as well about you doing certain rituals on the full and new moons in order to honor and empower your ancestors. And if that is something that you have been doing or you're interested in doing, your ancestors are very much into that, okay? But otherwise, the moon, some of you may have your natal moon in the sixth house. In astrology, that means that you have an emotional way of being when it comes to certain routines. Some of your emotions may be affected by the type of routines that you have if you have moon in the sixth house. But outside of that little astrological piece, there is, again, this highlight of you creating such a healthy bond with your ancestors. They actually really admire how you pay attention to certain details, like how observant you are, how practical you can be about certain things. When you interact with them, it's not simply because you're asking for something. You're actually one of those kind-hearted descendants that, like, you, in some form or another, you check in with your ancestors. You check in with how they're doing. You set libations for them out. You really are interactive with the spirit world in a very hands-on type of way through your daily life. It's not something that you kind of interact with on this time and kind of do it in this time. I see you being very committed to the relationship that you have with your ancestors. Some of you, like, they really like when you light candles. They really like when you put flowers out. They really like when you speak to them from the heart. You don't have to necessarily say something out loud, but what you feel is satisfying you emotionally is actually satisfying them as well. They're very appreciative of you, pile number three. They love you. They love their bond with you. It's not transactional. It is very much so, like, respectful. And it, again, what you are doing to get connected with them is nurturing yourself and also nurturing others. And when I say others, I do strongly mean them, and feel that they mean themselves when that card is popping up. This is such a beautiful reading, such beautiful energy that you have. Of course you have Venus, the planet of love, come out. Another group had this one as well. Just such a beautiful message from your ancestors. Some of you may have, again, I have to say it, some of you may have Venus in the sixth house. Okay. Venus conjunct the moon, or Venus and or the moon within your sixth house. But that just means that you have such soft, supple energy that exists around your day-to-day routines. You really have, I think, romanticized parts of your day, and you've kind of like included your ancestors into it, and they are so appreciative of you for it. Like, the beauty and the harmony that you're setting up for yourself in your physical reality translates to them, and they love it. They, again, I like to think of what we do with our ancestors, for our ancestors, and just in our life in general is something that, they have wanted to do for themselves. So they have probably wanted to buy more flowers when they were here on this plane. They have wanted to interact with beautiful things in the way that you are currently and presently doing so. They love it. They have nothing but praise for you, pile number 3. And let me tell you, this message it's completely different than the other 2 messages. There is something here about you gaining a lot because of the work that you have put in regards to your relationship to them. They're here to, and they're not doing things for you just because you've done things for them. As I mentioned, it's not transactional. They want to show you their gratitude. They want to show you like, oh, we really fuck with you. To put it, in a very, kind of way. Pile number 3. If you know, you know. But your ancestors love you. They love you so much. They are magnetized by your energy. So Venus, it correlates to beauty, harmony, and romance. And I think romance is not just, what society makes it out to be. I think romance is, when I say romanticizing your life, because Venus it rules over Taurus, and that is our 5 senses. It's all of our senses. So that's the way that you cook your food. And if you, like I mentioned, offer those libations to them, they love the aromas, the taste, the sights, even when you put something colorful or just beautiful in your home. That was your ancestors' way of helping you like bring that energy into your space, especially if things happen for you more so mystically. Like, for an example, I went to an art show with my wife and my friends, and it was so uncanny how this happened. But they had a raffle for the artists that were there. They all entered one of their own paintings or drawings or whatever into the raffle for the audience to be able to win a free painting. It was just such a great event, pile number 3. But long story short, I basically proclaimed out loud, I said, if that one specific and particular painting is meant for me, my ancestors, they're going to clear the path. They're going to make it happen. They're going to bring it to me. And I've been telling this story nonstop since it happened. But as you can guess, my ancestors made it happen. They had me win the very painting that I wanted. It was the only painting that I saw and I actually wanted. And they got it for me. And who am I to say no? So, it's something like that, because that's like the first thing that came to mind when I thought of beauty. Them like putting you in rooms and circumstances, or helping you to get to those circumstances in order to make your life more beautiful. Because they get to exist in it as well. It's not like a selfish energy. They want you to have these beautiful things surrounding you, but they also like it themselves, and it doesn't hurt that they like it as well. But Venus also, represents that receiving energy, sensuality, luxury, wealth as well. It rules over the things that we hold value in and the things that bring us pleasure. Venus represents, the adornments that we place on our bodies, like jewelry, and things of that, like that beauty. Venus rules over attraction, indulgence, taste, and style as well. Venus is she's a good time. Venus is actually only ever a good time. And if it's well aspected in your birth chart, then that's something that you have access to and that you're able to tap into very easily. Venus likes to be in the signs Libra and Taurus. She doesn't do so well in Scorpio. But this energy is so pleasurable. I could stay here and talk about it as long as I really wanted to. But let's keep going. We have Neptune at the bottom of the deck. Neptune rules over our dreams, our imagination, the subconscious, and our memories. Neptune rules over Pisces. And so this energy supporting the bottom of the deck energy support, like these two energies here, my goodness. Traditionally, the moon rules over Pisces, but Neptune does as well. So you have this really dreamy, really dreamy, playful, creative energy at the bottom of the deck for both of these, saying like some of you could be an artist. Like, let's just put that out there. Like, you put your own art up, or there's something here about using your abilities to make your environment more beautiful, to, again, even making your day-to-day more beautiful. The sixth house is, doctor's appointments, it's grocery shopping. The sixth house is not something that you typically attribute to beauty. It's health. It's all the things that you need to do in this physical world to keep things going. And so having Venus here, it's like your days are looking beautiful. And of course, the world as it is, I don't want to be tone deaf to any external circumstances. Life is hard, okay? Life is difficult. The human experience, let's just say, the human experience is difficult because of the way that the world is structured. But I feel like you have found your own type of structure, and your ancestors they love it for you. They're just ecstatic for you. Your day-to-day consists of you being able to pretty much dream up whatever it is that you want to make appear or happen. I do want to mention some of you may also even have Neptune in your sixth house, for those of you who are into astrology. But you have worked really hard for this. It didn't come easy. Nothing in life really ever comes easy. There is an effort that you have to put outwardly. But your ancestors are so proud of you, because it's like, oh yeah, you worked for this. Like, you took your most dreamy third eye imaginings and you have like plastered it onto the canvas of your life. You've fantasized about things, and I feel like you're still in this manifestation space, but a lot of it has come true for you. A lot of beautiful things have come true for you, and your ancestors don't want you to lose that idealistic charm that you have. They want you to hold on to your visions, meditate on these visions, and continue to never settle for something that is outside of your realm of beauty, or that just doesn't fit your standard of beauty, or theirs. So let's see, because like I said, I could keep going on and on about it, but let's see what else your ancestors want you to know about how much they love you. And I mean love. Like, these two cards alone here are telling you like they love you. They love you. And they know that, if you have someone specific in mind, pile number 3, they understand that distance, the space between like life and death is difficult for you, or maybe difficult for you. But they want you to realize that they are witnessing you make your life a living prayer, is what I'm hearing. So let's see. Pile number 3, please, Spirit. Here you go. All right. You have cypress. You have the essential oil cypress with clary sage at the bottom of the deck. I will read both. Okay. And so cypress, the keyword says resilience. Trigger statement, I need to control. True statement, I surrender. That is that Pisces energy. Allow yourself to relax with the currents of life. These changes will take you even closer to where you were meant to be. And you did. You had transformation here. So while things are not 100% settled or stabilized for you, because there is this energy of change, transformation, And we witnessed it within your connection to your ancestors. But there is something here, again, within your routines, work routines, or day-to-day routines that is also transforming. Your ancestors are wanting you to let go of certain control or tendencies to control the way that things pan out for you. They know that you've been holding it down. You've been staying on top of things. You've been making sure that nothing really gets too disorderly or out of control. But they're saying, you don't have to exert control because you already have it within you. They want you to surrender to something, surrender to the fantasies of your life, and allow certain external energies to move you to exactly where you're meant to be. These changes will take you even closer to where you were meant to be. So there's something here about do not fear. Maybe you have felt something change within your health. And of course, I am not a health provider. I'm not a practitioner of medicine in any form or way. So of course, take what resonates for you, pile number 3. But they're asking you not to worry. They're asking you to tap into that resiliency that you both share as a lineage, of not settling, but also not worrying about the way something may unfold for you. Surrender. Allow yourself to relax. I think especially if it's in regards to health, any worry in that nature, stressing will not actually make anything better. Stressing is not the antidote to your worries. Try to relax. Again, try to look around at what currently exists in your life as a soothing balm. And when you are in your most relaxed state is when your ancestors will be able to reach you, connect with you, remind you of how proud they are of you. But when you're frantic, when you're stressed, you start to miss things. You start to be so in your mind and consumed by what needs to get done, what needs to happen, how you need to show up, versus how you are being asked to show up. So, for example, today, going to the gym, my wife and I saw a woman who, turned out to be so stressed that she forgot to close her car door. We were just in a parking lot, regular. She's going into her prospective store. And my wife, goes up to her and says, "Excuse me, you left your door open. Is that your car?" And, the first thing that she said out of her mouth is like, "Oh, I'm so stressed. I didn't even notice that she had left her car door wide open." And if we wouldn't have said anything, she would have went into the store and probably come out to something even more stressful than what she's dealing with in her own head. So again, just an example of be present, ground yourself with that Venus energy, ground yourself in your body, and do not let stress take you outside of yourself. Your ancestors, they want to let you know, they probably, unfortunately, have dealt with similar things of stress being so crucial to the way that they lived their life that they weren't able to enjoy anything. They worked so hard. They did all that they could do to get all that they got, and they didn't even get to enjoy it with Venus here, pleasure, because the day-to-day just consumed them so much. So they love you, and they want you to have a different approach to life. That doesn't mean stressful things aren't going to happen, or that you should just be happy-go-lucky all the time. That's not realistic. They want you to say, balance that with something to counteract, balance the negative with the positive. Handle the things that you're so good at handling because you have 6th house here. You get shit done. So stay in that energy of oh, I know I can make this happen, or I know that this will turn out well because of the structures that I've set in place. But limit your worry, limit your stress, allow yourself to know that things will be concluded naturally. Okay? They want this for you. At the bottom of the deck, you have Clary Sage, the keyword being insight. Trigger statement, there is no hope. True statement, there is a higher purpose. Connect with your higher self and your ancestors and allow yourself to be guided to your highest purpose or your higher purpose. As the veil of illusion falls away, you will find your answer. So sometimes Neptune, as fun as it is to be imaginative, as fun as it is to be creative and to exist within the subconscious, and Neptune can even rule over escapism and not wanting to be in reality. Your ancestors are letting you know, sometimes that's a good time, but sometimes you do have to let the illusions fall away and realize, I am trying to escape from something rather than accept my state of being as a totality of energy. The good, the bad, the ugly, the difficult, the beautiful. They're saying, don't try to subtract one from the other. Don't just focus on this beautiful Venusian energy, because that is a part of that Neptunian escapism. They want you to say or they need you to realize you are a capable human. You are capable, pile number 3, of handling what it is that needs to be handled. They don't want you to give up hope again or focus on something more idealistic. They want you to be realistic in saying oh, this can't touch me. This can't destroy what exists in my life. I'm going to channel in this resilience that I feel so strongly within myself, and I'm going to seek my higher purpose through it. Because there is something here about having a higher purpose or meaning to certain difficulties that you feel like you have to control. And we talked about, or did we? That was another pile. But I talked about the difference between the Venus energy and moon energy. Because sometimes our moon energy can depict to us what we fear, what we love and what we fear, or what fears are trying to be expressed through our emotionality. And you have both Venus and the moon. So it's saying yes, things are beautiful. Things are good. It's tricky to even use that word with the state of the world right now. But for you personally, pile number 3, things look or feel good. But there is this fear with the moon at the bottom of the deck saying, I need this need to be fulfilled, or the good will revert back to the bad in some kind of way. Neptune has all different, Neptune's influence has all different kinds of illusionments. And so your ancestors need you to see things clearly. They need you to say, or they need you to hold a clear perspective on what will actually replenish you, what actually needs to be replenished. And I say that because you have deep replenishment at the bottom of the deck here. Retreat, rest, and be held. That's a good one. That's a really good one. But let's get into the main card that came out. Keepers of the Earth. Again, a card that came out for another group. You are not alone. Okay? Ancient ancestors stand beside you. Your ancestors want you to know you are not alone. You're not dealing with this alone. And I see what they were doing here. They were trying to get you, captivated by this beauty message and this beautiful message. They wanted to give you a oh, things are going well. Things are good. Like, do not worry, because this is what exists in your life right now. But they also want to uncover the layer a little bit and say, like, and also, not but, and also, this is something that they'd like to draw your attention to, because they want you to be able to enjoy the beautiful things that exist in your life. Your ancestors are ancient. You have a deep lineage of support behind you and beside you. You are not alone. They love you deeply. They love you so much. So much. They are doing their part on the other side to help transform this connection so that you feel their presence even more, because they are grateful for what you have, been able to do and make exist in your life right now. And for, even if the aspect of clearing certain ancestral or generational trauma has been so enlightening, so uplifting for them. And so they want to help you during this time with what you are struggling with. They said that it happens through rest. It happens through receptivity, because you have Venus and the moon, and deep replenishment. So they're saying you are not being called to activate anything right now. You're not called to be acting on something right now. They actually just need you to rest and to be held and to be affirmed that everything is okay and that you are being taken care of. They want you to dream, sleep peacefully. I think a lot of replenishment will come through literal sleep for you. And maybe some of you haven't really been getting good sleep because of whatever stressor has been in your mind, again, that you have felt like you've needed to be present in order to control it and to keep it from worsening or reverting. Let's see what this is, because I am very deeply curious. What is the message here, please, Spirit, for pile number 3? What do the ancestors need them to know right now? All right. You have the Four of Cups in reverse, the Six of Pentacles in reverse, and the Queen of Pentacles. Beautiful. You were unsatisfied with something with the Four of Cups in reverse. I say were because it's in reverse, meaning that this energy is somehow transforming, literally, in your life with the transformation here. Queen of Pentacles, because we have so many pentacles showing up for you, it is of the earthly matter. You are unsatisfied with the type of help that you have received in the past. The Six of Pentacles represents like someone taking care of others. And so let me just take a moment. Let me see. There's something here about either you have not felt satisfied with what you've been able to provide to others, or you were unsatisfied with what you have been provided with from others. And I'm sure everyone's situation will be different. The Six of Pentacles is saying that it's time to rebalance, because there is this energy of dissatisfaction because of feeling unresourced or untaken care of. The Queen of Pentacles is saying that you are stable, you are nurturing your body or your physical plane, because the pentacles is connected to either your physical body or the earthly realm in which we use things to achieve financial stability and security. So you're nurturing these aspects. You, again, have built quite a stable foundation in your life materially. You have Venus here with luxury and wealth. But my attention continues to be grabbed by the Six of Pentacles in reverse. It's saying that something wasn't enough with the Four of Cups in reverse. And it's transforming. So the Four of Cups is actually like an emotional dissatisfaction, but connected to the Six of Pentacles in reverse. It's like you were disappointed emotionally by the lack of something not being as replenishing or nurturing as you would hope it to be. Let's see if I can come up with some examples within my mind. For some of you, you may have had your hopes up high for some kind of further security. Because you're doing okay, you're doing well, you're doing, as I mentioned, good, tentatively. Maybe in regards to your ability to save something, because with the Libra scales here, having this balance of, I have enough and I also have this like backup of replenishment. Some of you may be worried about your savings and feeling like, yes, I am good, but technically also it could be better. Some of you may have been anticipating a new beginning with the Fool in reverse. A new beginning that you thought was going to give you more so long-standing comfort. And that's not how this new beginning has come about, because the Fool is someone who is like, I'm throwing caution to the wind. I'm about to just jump into this new thing. We're about to find out what it is when we get there. I'm throwing caution to the wind. And that is not happening for you. And it may be because your ancestors are actually trying to steer you away from something that long term would not have been beneficial. You would have been in this atmosphere for however long of a time and found out like you invested quite a bit of time, energy, and resources into it without it actually nurturing or feeding you back. And so while you were gearing up to start something, you are now being called to actually rest. That may not be very comfortable for you, pile number 3. And your ancestors want you to know, like, they're not doing this to spite you. They're not doing this to scare you. They're not doing this, transformative action to keep you from your wealth. They're actually trying to guide you somewhere much more nourishing for you. Something that will help to satisfy your emotional needs and your material needs. Because they realize like you don't have to sacrifice one for the other. And so what I see here is with the Six of Pentacles in the 6th house, and the Six of Pentacles being in reverse, they're saying, work on drawing back. And I know that's tough. You are a very generous spirit. You want people to be able to access the type of beauty that you have access to in your life. But they're asking you to hold on to something as your foundation is being reestablished. Because you have built a lovely foundation. And a beautiful life for yourself. And they're saying that you've done a really good job. Like, they want you to know that they witness you. And also, yes, and also, they need you to maybe not do things as you have done in the past, being so generous, being so giving. Again, so that there isn't this energy of like resentment afterwards, knowing like, oh, I could have saved that for an actual rainy day in my life. Because there will be rainy days. Pile number 3, your ancestors know this. They're trying to set you up for more. And they don't want you to have to work so hard for it with Venus and the moon here. There is this energy of you being able to not just get by, but you're able to withstand, yes, resilience. You're able to withstand this moment right now when you are moving with a certain responsible outlook. Again, not to say that you're not responsible, not to say that you're careless. I mean, you was about to be. You was really about to be as careless as you wanted to be with that type of freedom in the Fool here. And they're stopping you from this because that carefree energy, although it feels good, it wouldn't have been very long lasting for you. And so they see you working through your disappointment. They know. They know that you're disappointed. And I think that is a part of this transformation. Again, we focus on the transformation of your relationship with your ancestors, but I think this is a part of it as well, because you're going to start realizing like, oh, I was spared from that. I was redirected from that. And yes, it took resilience because I thought I was going to get it hot and I thought I was going to get it easy. But it is so much more worthwhile being able to do it in this manner because I have my autonomy. I have my vision. I have everything that I've already worked so hard for up until this point, and I'm supported. I'm supported in this change, in this transformation. And this is something that I have actively said that I want for myself. I'm trying to see if there's anything else within these cards. The 4 of Cups in reverse, again, echoes and screams to me, surrender, surrender, let it go. You do not have to control the changes that you don't agree with. Your daily life is changing, but it's not a drastic change. What would be a drastic change is you going from this individual able to help and give in a balanced way, hopefully. You turning from this individual to one of these individuals. That's a drastic change that they're trying to prevent in your life. It takes a certain type of, again, balance and finesse to keep oneself stable and secure. Certain things are not guaranteed. Certain things are not promised. And so the one thing that you can make sure of is that you are coming with stability in mind. You are moving with a certain outlook of like, not out of fear. They definitely don't want you to move out of fear. That's what I'm saying. They're not doing this for you to be afraid of being a generous and kind spirit. They want you to know like, okay, you were positioned in this way, maybe at the beginning of the year, whenever you're watching this. And now towards the end of the year, it's time for you to hunker down. Hunker down, look around you, embrace the change that is happening because it's leading you to where you are meant to be, even closer. And it's outside of like financial success. That's a part of it. definitely a part of it. You're meant to have it. But you cannot control how it comes about. And you probably would be very grateful that you weren't allowed to control how it comes about, because if you're focusing on the mindset of, I got to make enough so I can give enough, or I got to make enough so I can do enough, it's like, where's your happiness in that? Where's your pleasure in that? Do you believe that you deserve to have pleasure even when you were working hard to provide for others? And why do you feel like those things should be sacrificed, if that is the case? Okay. So I'm going to pull some charms. That's what all that noise is about, in case you didn't realize. I'm pulling some charms for you, pile number 3. Some symbols that your ancestors may be sending you, maybe wanting you to see, so that you know that they are with you, that there's nothing to fear or worry about, and that you are being taken care of. So I'm going to reach in, pull out just a few, and see what these are for you. Ooh, okay. So you have the beautiful dragonfly. I love dragonflies. As a symbol from your ancestor, letting you know that they are there, that they are helping you to transform, that they love you and appreciate all that you do for them and others. Beautiful dragonfly. Okay. You also have a star, and this is a 3D star. Look at how gorgeous. They are sending you this symbol to remind yourself not to give up hope, to surrender, but not to give up. You also have, is this a kitty cat? It is a kitty cat. You have the cat symbol, okay? Even if you don't like cats, cats are a symbol of intuition, receptivity, and independence. And again, another symbol that your ancestors will be sending you to let you know that they are with you and encouraging you. You have the little angel as well, letting you know, like, again, your ancestors are here. There is a spiritual influence happening over your life when you see either angels or winged animals in that way. You have the whale tail. Another symbol for you, pile number 3. And you have a little miniature robot. And if I'm not mistaken, the robot is holding, well, don't drop the robot, but the robot, if you can see it clearly, is holding a heart. Okay. So your ancestors love you deeply. They really do. Like, they have so much appreciation in their heart for you. And they don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to be uncomfortable. They just want you to know that you deserve the absolute best, the best quality, the best of everything. They're standing beside you. They are with you through this moment of transition, sending you so much love, sending you so much guidance. And I hope that you're able to feel that through this reading. If you were, I would greatly appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It would help out the channel a lot. And if you enjoyed this reading, pile number 3, please consider joining my newsletter to see what the year 2024 has in store for you. The Zodiac 2024 messages will be going out very shortly on my newsletter. And so I hope to see you there in that space. If not, until another time, I will see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. This is the card that you chose for your pile. Okay. And the affirmation or the statement says, freedom. There's nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. Okay. And so this is an aspect of love, how your ancestors show up in your life and show you that they love you. They offer you access and pathways towards your freedom. As I've mentioned in the other piles while doing this reading, a lot of the times we can intuitively sense or feel that what we are being offered or granted in our life sometimes is something a direct correlation or correlated to a dream that one of our ancestors or many of our ancestors have had. And I think freedom is one of those things for your ancestors. They have wanted to be free. There historically has been, a lineage of people who have not been able to access their freedom. Majority Black and brown bodies, indigenous people, and people who have been oppressed. I'm not saying that all of your ancestors were down bad and had it bad, but a lot of them, there's a lineage, a direct connection between the energies that were present in the past, and what they wanted for their own personal lives, which is freedom. And so your ancestors, they love you so much, so much, pile number 4. And they want you to know that right now they are helping you to pivot within a position in your life where nothing can stop you. Whether that is energetically, mentally, physically, you are being repositioned, or you have been positioned in a place in your life where the path is clear, if you want it to be, and there is nothing that can stop you from reaching your desire or reaching the goal of freedom. Okay. And so this is just the opening energies that I sense around this card. We're going to get into the nuances and dive deeper. But I do want to be clear that freedom is not just an individual's responsibility. If we want it, though, we can make it manifest in our lives before we can imagine, or while we are imagining, what collective freedom looks like as well. So this being said, you may not feel resonant with this energy. It may not feel like you feel free right now. And this is why your ancestors are sending you this message, is because they want you to access it. They love you so much that they don't want you to feel constrained or restricted or limited in any way. They want you to feel a sense of freedom. And I believe that this message is going to help point you in that direction, help you clarify what seems unclear. And we will do our best to see what the Oracle has to say for you. Pile number 4. So let's see what else. I love that. I love that a lot. So you have the Sun card out. The Sun within astrology, or from an astrological point of view, is about self-expression and embodying your truth. And so this is directly correlated to the freedom in which your ancestors would love for you to have in your life right now, and for always as well. They want you to have this freedom to express. They want you to be able to let a part of your essence out, to be seen, to be known, to be felt for your energy. You may have felt like, or you may deal with not feeling as expressive or extroverted or communicative as you see other people doing so, maybe effortlessly, it may seem for other people. And yet your ancestors want you to know that you may have come from lineages of writers and speakers and people who have used their voice to access freedom within their life and to help other people access freedom through expressing, through being seen and being heard, and by being witnessed, embodying their truth. And they want this for you. They absolutely crave this for you. They love you so much. They feel that you are such a part of your lineage and family roots that they know that this must reach you, and that you are encouraged. Not that you must. You have free will, of course. But they see something in you that is craving to be expressed, craving to be let out. And it's for the culture. is what I'm feeling with the fourth house here at the bottom of the deck. Cultural, ancestral knowledge. Some of you may even be called to express. And just learnings about family, lineage, ancestry, the connectivity between us and those who have passed or who are no longer on this earthly plane but still spiritually guide us. This is something that you may be heavily interested in learning about, or again, expressing and embodying as a way of being and as a way of truth in your life. The fourth house at the bottom of the deck supporting this energy, though, is also telling me that some of you feel the most comfortable when expressing at home or when expressing around very familiar energy, because family is not always familiar and vice versa, but familiar energy means that you are comfortable, you are at peace around the energy, environments, and people in which you express the most. Some of you watching pile number 4 may actually have your sun in the 4th house, depending on those of you who are into astrology and know what your birth chart, how it's set up and what it looks like. Some of you may have that placement, but otherwise it's okay if you don't. The sun in the 4th house just says like what's truly like a desire for you to speak on brings you comfort, and it helps to bring other people comfort as well. And so your ancestors, they love you and they're saying, listen, look at these gifts that you have. Look at these gifts that you have and know that they have meaning. Know that you can use these gifts of expression and embodiment in order to make yourself even more and more comfortable in this life. Okay, so let's see. What else, please, for pile number 4? Spirit. Pile number 4. All right. You have Pluto with transformation here. So you have Sun and Pluto. Some of you may have your Sun conjunct your Pluto. Some of you may have Pluto in the 4th house, meaning lots of transformations that were happening at the early stages of your life. But you also have the 11th house at the bottom of this deck supporting the energy of Pluto. Some of you may have Pluto in the 11th house or Sun in the 11th house as well. So the edge here with the 11th house energy represents Aquarius energy being just on the outskirts of life and being more so, what's the word? Group oriented rather than individually oriented. But Pluto with transformation here, your ancestors deeply desire for you to allow the way that you express yourself and the things that you embody to transform. They are aware, your ancestors are aware of a renewal that is trying to take place within you. There's something here around your personal power transforming, you evolving into a new version of yourself, a renewed version of yourself, because sometimes we have really good roots within our own self. We have really good learnings and knowings, basic instincts, and sometimes us getting back to those roots causes for a renewal in some way, not necessarily completely changing who you are. I do want to make that very clear. But there's an intense transformation taking place or being called to take place in your life that is going to grant you great freedom. The path is clear, which means that there was clearing that needed to happen. Uprooting. I keep coming back to this tree analyzation. Uprooting, detaching, clearing, and making a path for you. This is what your ancestors have been working on for you on the other side, energetically, in order for you to start seeing a clearer path within your physical representation of life. So there's been this huge upheaval, transformation. I also like to look at Pluto as the dissolver. So something, breaking things down and dissolving into new forms. And that could be around like the groups that you have been attracted to or interested in, hanging around groups or friendships, communities that may have been transformed for you, or you may sense a transformation coming in regards to the way that you show up in these groups, the way that you interact with folks, and how you are starting to build your true and authentic community based on what you are expressing. When I see this sun energy here, it's like what we are emanating is an attractor to bring those like-minded people to us. And so I think you're getting more creative. You're getting less attached, less, again, stifled with your self-expression, and really trying to really trying to experiment with your expression and what feels the most authentic, the most genuine, the most comfortable for you to express, and where you feel the most comfortable expressing it. The 4th house and the 11th house are actually completely different. The 4th house is very much so home body energy. It's very much like, I prefer to do things intimately, more comfortably. And the 11th house is kind of just like, I'm going to do things like outside of the home. It's not a home-based type of energy. It's a outside, out of the box type of energy. So it's very interesting that you have those two like polar opposite energies as like house-wise, saying that you have a lot of transformations possibly in both of those aspects. Your home life transforming, and also those friend group, like social club environments transforming as well. Very interesting, very interesting. So let's see what else your ancestors want you to know. They're sending you this message again because they love you so much. They want you to have this. They really want you to have this. And so we're going to look even more closely at what this is for you, pile number 4, in regards to self-expression and embodiment. For pile number 4, please, Spirit. Okay. So you have cilantro at the bottom of the deck. I will read that as well. But before, we have lemongrass. And the keyword is declutter, which definitely is reminding me of that clearing of the path. But the trigger statement says, I made so many mistakes. And the true statement says, I let it all go, which is very, very aligned with the next cilantro card, with the keyword being letting go. So this is a double, triple confirmation of a message for you from your ancestors. And it is drawing you to pay close attention to this next message. But it says, everything you have done up to this point is leading you to where you need to be. Let go of the past and be here now, which is very interesting because the 4th house also does rule over the past, while literally the 11th house rules over the future. And so your ancestors are asking you to, in one form or another, let go of the past, because I like to think about the North Node and the South Node in the same way for all of those astrological folks out there. But the past, it's not something that you have to completely discard of. There is nourishment and compost and things that have already transformed. And so the past is saying disregard the excess, the pointless aspects of what you hold on to from the past, while integrating those lessons, the nourishments that you gained from the past to build a healthier and a stronger future. So the trigger statement, I made so many mistakes, your ancestors absolutely, they encourage you to dispose of perceived mistakes, in the sense that they paint a view to you of what you should be doing. And I put that in quotation marks here, what you should be doing. Your ancestors realize there's no such thing as perfection. Like maybe they worked so hard to be perfect, and again, confined, aligned with what was like the perfect standard in at their time in life. And they want you to let go of the idealization that perfection means no mistakes, and that a good life means that you make very little mistakes. They want you to let all of that go. They want you to know that everything you have done up to this point is absolutely leading you to your freedom. That is a huge transformation that's happening for you right now. Your perspective. I think in the future, you're going to be less afraid to speak on past mistakes, but not like belittling yourself or criticizing or judging yourself for those mishaps or whatnot, but to know like, oh, this is the area in which I've seen the most transformation in my life. I was afraid to do things in this area of my life, and then that transformed, and I allowed mistakes to happen, and I grew so much beyond my perceived mistakes. So this is clearing, your path is clearing. I mean, this is a deep cleanse. Pluto is not like, oh, we're just removing the first layer of I heard grief, I heard guilt, I heard, dirt, but Pluto transforms to the core. The substance is completely renewed. And so this is being completely renewed and transformed for you within the future. And the future could be nearby. It could be your entire life. You completely face transformations of letting it all go and accepting yourself as you are, and accepting that each version of yourself that you have transformed through has led you exactly to where you need to be. So cilantro, solidifying the message of declutter. The key word again is letting go. The trigger statement says this is not the way it's supposed to be. The true statement, I am free. Freedom. Like, it is clear. It is clear what your ancestors are bringing you here today to witness within yourself, because they love you and they want, and what did I say? They want this for you as badly as a desire that they have wanted for themselves. The message says, lift up your burdens and allow the divine to free you from them. Allow yourself to be cleansed, of course, of anything that is weighing you down. A complete transformation, a complete cleanse for yourself and of yourself. Letting you know, like, we are all meant to embody transformation, but you specifically, you are meant to cleanse yourself as frequently as you can, because things weigh on you. They weigh you down. They slow down your journey and progression along your path. Certain things weigh you down and keep you from self-expressing or embodying this truth. And your ancestors don't want that for you. They don't want that at all for you. So they're placing you in environments and positions and experiences to really, really encourage this transformation. Okay, and this card says, trust the niggle. Okay, I know. If you haven't seen this card before, then you're like, what the hell? But it says, trust the niggle, okay? What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? And when I hear this word, I think like that itch behind your ear that you can't really get because it's like on the inside. There is this feeling that is trying to tell you something. And it really, above anything else, is trying to get you to express something. And you're like, I really don't think I should express this. Like, I really don't think I should shine this light or be seen in this manner or do something in this way. You definitely don't believe that whatever this feeling is will lead you to freedom. that feels almost impossible to you, or like too idealistic for you to think like, oh, this little feeling that I'm feeling intuitively, like in the back of myself, feels like I should be sharing this, or I should be expressing this. I should be listening to this part of myself. And that is a part of this transformation as well. You are going to start trusting yourself, trusting your inklings and your feelings. You're doing this through self-exploration, introspectiveness, with the inner temple here at the bottom of the deck, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. Okay. And so your heart chakra and your third eye chakra are deeply connected during this transformation. Trusting your heart, the more that you devote time to nourishing your heart, nourishing your like fourth house energy with peace and comfort, making yourself spiritually comfortable, mentally comfortable, decluttering, letting go of what needs to be let go of, so that there's not all this extra noise in the background. As you work to do this, you will start to see a lot of different transformations. Your body won't feel the same. I think you'll start to feel an energetic shift. And, take what resonates, of course. You may feel this energetic shift within your body that gives you this energy, or awakens you, but like gives you this vibrancy that you feel internally, because you feel less weighed down and you feel more, again, experimental in your approach to life and to your spiritual practices, your comfort practices, your emotional hygiene practices, all these things that you're going to find a renewed approach to as you let go of any shame, any guilt, any judgments of yourself. I see all of these things transforming for you. It's so beautiful. Your ancestors really love you. Like, they've really been working hard to get you to this place, working with you, trying to support you, trying to guide you, trying to send you signs. They may be the source of the inkling or the niggle feeling that you feel. Trying to get your attention, trying to encourage you forward, trying to change, help you shift your perspective, transform your perspective. Pile number 4. Thank you. Okay, so the High Priestess, she came out in reverse. I'm going to keep it in that way at the very center of your reading. Beautiful. If you want it to be. The High Priestess could be upright if you wanted it to be. I think that means that they're calling you to really get in tune. The High Priestess is connected to the moon. I can't remember if it's ruled by the moon traditionally within the Rider-Waite, but it is connected to the moon, and that draws me back to the 4th house once again, because the 4th house is ruled by the moon. And so a lot of your most intuitive guidance will come from very sacred, very special places that feel like home for you. It doesn't have to be your home, because that may not be an environment where you feel the safest based on whatever circumstance. But home-like environments that bring you a sense of nostalgia and in a comfortable way. That is where I see you trying to express your most intuitive instincts, trying to tap in, trying to listen to the messages that your ancestors are sending. Because again, before now, you haven't felt very connected. It has felt like you have missed certain opportunities, or that certain experiences were brought to you to put you on your head and to spin you. Like with the transformation here, like you felt like transformation has been chaotic for you in the past, with the world being in reverse. When people talk or speak of moving into new blessings and things just like clicking and aligning right away, you may not have felt connected to that in the past. With the world card being in reverse, you have had to slowly progress to getting comfortable with change, knowing that change is not meant to hurt you, it's not meant to disrupt your peace, it's not meant to make you feel like a failure. Change has been brought to you in order to draw you closer and closer to where you need, or where you're meant to be. Not where you need to be, but where you're meant to be. And so I think that you are now trying to, in attempts of like trusting your intuition, trusting the guidance, not fearing new beginnings, really believing that the world is open to you, believing that you have freedom. This is a slow progression with the Nine of Pentacles here. You're still in the process, and your ancestors want to honor and recognize that. They're not looking for completion from you. They know that this is a lifelong journey with the major arcana here. They're not just expecting you to go and apply to do a TED Talk. Like, they know that it's going to take time for you to get comfortable with certain expressions. You have the Fool again in reverse. So when I look at the Fool, it's a very interesting card, especially coming out in reverse. This is just telling me that, a new beginning, that because you have the Fool and the World in reverse. If I'm not mistaken, this is the beginning and the end of the major arcana. I think the World card is the last card in the major arcana. And is it 21? No, there's 22. There's one more card after the World card, but it is near the end. And that is telling me that you're still in a cycle, that a new beginning is not going to happen as planned. This is because this is also, again, another cycle of transformation for you. Your ancestors want to make you aware of this so that you don't view this as another mistake. And of course, take what resonates for you. Pile number 4, because some of you may come out of this cycle feeling very accomplished, feeling like, wow, I handled this so much differently this time. And that's what your ancestors want for you. They want you to feel like pride. They want you to understand that this is a lifetime process. It's for like every new beginning that you will ever take in life. And so the Fool to me is this carefree, just energy that is unconvinced that harm will come to them based on certain actions. If you look at the depiction of the Fool, they're ready to leap. They're ready to leap. They have what they have in their hands, on their back, and they're like, I'm absolutely prepared for this journey, gleefully. And so in reverse, your ancestors want you to know, like, although you may not typically have this type of approach to new beginnings, they still want you to realize that circumstances happen. You'll never be 100% prepared for a new beginning that you've never embodied or gone for. You learn as you trek through the experience. And so they want you to, yes, be cautious, but also do not be fearful. of certain experiences that pop up along the journey. They want you to know, like, yes, intuition is a helpful tool to grow, to nurture, and to utilize. But again, there are aspects that are unknown. Taking your time doesn't erase the mistakes or erase the possibility of mistakes, but it definitely does allow you to see what went wrong when, and how you can better prepare yourself for another similar experience if that experience were to ever happen again. Because who's to say that it will? But the Fool card in reverse, like these three major arcana cards in reverse, is saying work with the energy, surrender to the energy, surrender to your intuition trying to come through. Listen to yourself. Listen to the signs that you feel, the little inklings that you may brush off or say, you know, that's not important for right now. There's other things to focus on. Well, categorize by importance. Listen to, or I think your ancestors are saying, try to shift your perspective on what you view as important to listen to versus not. Because the High Priestess in reverse is saying that you value certain intuitive inklings over others. And they need you to know that all of the little feelings that you may not pay attention to, they are connected to something. You also have the Six of Pentacles, and it is also in reverse. So to have this many reversals in a reading means that the energy is adjusting itself. It's really trying to adjust itself. It's really trying to like work itself out. The Six of Pentacles in reverse tells me that there has been this imbalance of give and take. Maybe you are the person, the figure who is giving too much, or maybe you are the person who has received things, but they have not been of quality. I think that that's two different energies. And of course, whichever one resonates the most for you, pile number 4 is meant for you. But the Six of Pentacles in reverse is trying to say, like, close off certain gateways of energy being expelled or received that is not serving you at this time. Something is out of balance. And when we enter new stages of life and we don't have the proper boundaries set up, it colors the rest of the experience. When you start off empty, when you start a new beginning, empty of what you need to be able to endure the journey, prolonged, you don't make it as far as you would expect. Even if you take it slow and easy, if you start off empty of what you need, the necessities that you need in order to journey, the journey will end far more quickly than you ever expected. So your ancestors are wanting you to know, like, check your reserve, physical or energetic, but check what you have the ability to do before starting new beginnings. That is that cautious energy as well. To be realistic about what you have the means for. Listen closely to your intuition, because it may seem like you have the means for something, and again, you go along the journey and something else unexpectedly happens. So, for example, you feel like you have the financial means to go along a journey, and you are invited to, I'm hearing this example, so take what resonates, of course. It's not identical to everyone's experience. But for example, being invited to speak, to literally speak and embody your truth publicly, and to be witnessed embodying your truth. And you think, oh yeah, financially I got it. I can prepare myself. I can do it. And you spend all this time preparing for this journey, and you go about it ignoring, or, not ignoring, but listening to the logical part of yourself rather than the intuitive part of yourself. And your reserve runs out energetically, and you are exhausted, and the experience is toned with that exhaustion. This is, of course, just an example. But by the time you get through this experience, you realize, like, wow, I could have taken it so much easier on myself. I could have made sure that I was well rested pre getting to this place before reaching exhaustion. And so that is an example of going through an experience or a journey that transforms your perspective in a way by the end of it, so that the next time that you are invited to do something similar, you know what approaches work best for you, mind, body, and spirit. Okay, just an example, very brief. Of course, I hope it is a general enough example that you can apply it to different kinds of circumstances as well. But you have the King of Swords at the bottom of the deck. This is, a person who is a master at speaking their mind. They are authoritative in their speech, but not in a dictator kind of way or type of way. The King of Swords knows their mind. They are assured of their thoughts. They are not necessarily fixed. I can't remember what air sign rules the King of Swords, but I think it's Libra. And so when the energy is in its most healthiest state and its most nurtured state, you feel strong in your mind. You feel confident in your speech. You believe the words that you're saying, and they empower other people as well. Your thoughts and your speech empower other people, and it empowers yourself. So this being your supporting energy is letting you know that you are going to come from a place of strong-mindedness, of confidence mentally, and just this ability to really speak your mind and be heard for your very inventive and unique thoughts. But it is going to come through a process of letting go, a process of rejuvenation and renewal of, renewed trust in your intuition and renewed faith in the experience, not really fearing new experiences, but moving through them intuitively and really being open to what the experience is there to teach you and what the experience is there to transform within you. Okay, pile number 4, again, a very powerful message from your ancestors, wanting to let you know, like, everything is okay. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And the past does not solely dictate the future, because we are actively creating it within our present as well. And that's based on choices and decisions. The choices and decisions that we didn't feel like we could make in the past are now open to us once again in different forms and different ways. And you have the ability. You do. And your ancestors love you so much. They want you to know this, that you have the power and you have the ability to transform your life in small and meaningful, intentional ways. Okay? And so as you can hear, I have some charms, a bag of charms with me right here, just to channel any final symbols or messages that your ancestors want to send to you to let you know that they are by your side and that they love you so very much. So I'm going to just go in, grab a few. Okay, move this to the side. So you have the fairy wand or the star wand. I don't look at it as like a shooting star, so this makes me think of your ancestors being that fairy godparent, fairy godmother that guides you, watches over you, and with, you know, I'm getting like a visual, so them waving their wand and helping you to clear parts of your path that you felt were blocked, that you felt weren't clear, or were hidden from you. You also have the moon here, so beautiful. So you may be seeing crescent moons a lot while you are moving through this journey. This is a symbol from your ancestors of love, a message of love, including beautiful heart imagery as well. You're going to be seeing a lot of hearts, a lot of stars, a lot of moon symbols, letting you know that they're trying to guide you into this new transformative state in your life. You also have an arrow, an actual arrow, and it has a heart on it. So cute. Letting you know that they're sending you love always. They're always sending you love. They're always trying to direct these messages, these loving messages to you whenever they can. You have the little robot. Another group got this one as well, with the heart in its hands. Yeah. I want to make sure you can see. And you may be seeing a lot of robot symbolism from your ancestors, letting you know that the future is now. The future is your present. You have a little monkey symbol. So cute. So you may be seeing a lot of this imagery as well, the monkey and the salamander as your final symbol that your ancestors may be sending to you at this time as a message of love, transformation, and knowing that they will always be by your side through any transformation that you are currently or in the future going through. Okay, pile number 4. I hope that you enjoyed this thorough and in-depth message. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. I will also leave the link to my newsletter down below. This month we are going to be releasing 2024 messages for the zodiac, so I would love for you all to check that out. And in any circumstance, I can't wait to see you in another video. Peace.